All right, let's talk wine. Today, we're uncorking the super exciting world of what we call New World wines. And if you think all the good stuff comes from those ancient European vineyards, well, we're about to go on a journey that's going to introduce you to some bold new flavors and seriously delicious bottles. So let me ask you a question. When you think of great wine, does your mind immediately jump to France or Italy? Yeah, that's what most of us think. But what if I told you that some of the most vibrant, fun, and honestly easiest to love wines are coming from places you might not even have on your radar?
See, this is what we're diving into. A whole new wine world. It's a place where passion and innovation are just uncorking one incredible bottle after another. So the big question is, what exactly does New World even mean?
Okay, so here's the deal. New World isn't some kind of quality ranking. It's all about history. We're talking about regions where European explorers brought their grapevines centuries ago and started totally new traditions. And because they weren't tied down by all those ancient rules, they could experiment with everything from how they grew the grapes to using modern tech in the winery. The result? These awesome, bold, fruit-forward styles that are just so easy to get into from the very first sip.
And that historical split? It created two completely different ways of thinking about how to make wine. It's this really cool contrast between tradition on one side and pure innovation on the other. And it changes everything, from what you see on the label to, most importantly, what you taste in the glass. So check this out. This is the fundamental difference. Old world wines, they're all about the place. It's a concept the French call terroir, the unique mix of soil, climate, and local tradition. That's why you buy a Bordeaux, not necessarily a Merlot. But the New World, it completely flips that idea on its head. It puts the grape front and center. You buy a Malbec. And you know what? This makes these wines so much more approachable because if you figure out you like a certain grape, you can find it from all over the world. Simple as that. And the journey of these vines is just incredible to think about. I mean, winemaking itself is ancient. We're talking 8,000 years ago. But it was that spirit of exploration, starting in the 15th century, that carried these little vines across massive oceans, planting the seeds for all the amazing wines we're talking about today. A massive piece of this puzzle is the climate. As a general rule, New World regions are just warmer, and more sun means riper grapes. Riper grapes mean more intense fruit flavors, a bit more alcohol, and this wonderful, smooth, rich texture. There's literally a straight line from the sunshine outside to the bold flavor in your glass. Okay, now for the really fun part. It is time to meet the superstars. We're going to go on a quick world tour of the most iconic grapes and the countries that absolutely made them famous. Let's do it. First stop, Argentina. And listen, if you are looking for a red wine that is rich, smooth, and pretty much guaranteed to make everyone happy, Malbec is your answer. This is the grape that put Argentina on the global wine map in a big way. So picture this, high-altitude vineyards right at the foot of the Andes Mountains in a place called Mendoza. That's where this magic happens. The wine is just packed with these ripe plum and blackberry flavors, but with this beautiful floral hint of violet. It's famously velvety, and trust me, it is the undisputed champion to pair with a great steak. All right, let's jet over to the other side of the world, New Zealand, for something completely different. We are talking about a white wine that is so vibrant and aromatic, it practically jumps out of the glass at you, Sauvignon Blanc. This stuff, mostly from the Marlborough region, is just unmistakable. The second you smell it, you get these explosive aromas of passion fruit and zesty citrus, plus the signature green herbaceous note, kind of like fresh-cut grass. It's this unique, super intense style that single-handedly made the whole world pay attention to New Zealand wine. Okay, so we've gone from crisp and zesty to big and bold. Our next stop is Australia, the home of Shiraz. And you can forget whatever you think you know about its French cousin, Syrah. The Aussie version is an absolute powerhouse of flavor. So, coming from the legendary Barossa Valley, which has some of the oldest Shiraz vines on the entire planet, this wine is just full-bodied and intense. Think deep blackberry and plum flavors, all layered up with notes of spice, maybe even a hint of dark chocolate. It's a complex, powerful red that is basically pure Australia in a bottle. Our last superstar has hands down the best story. I want you to meet Carmenere, the lost grape of Bordeaux. Seriously, everyone thought it was extinct in Europe for decades.
Until, one day, it was rediscovered just happily growing and thriving in the vineyards of Chile.
Get this. For years, the winemakers in Chile actually thought they were growing Merlot. How crazy is that? But this unique grape has a signature flavor all its own. You get red fruits, this really distinct hint of green bell pepper, and some warm spice. It's medium-bodied with soft tannins. You know, that's the stuff that can make your mouth feel a bit dry, which just means it's a super smooth and delicious piece of living wine history.
So, are you feeling inspired? A little thirsty, maybe? Good, because now we're going to give you the tools you need to start your very own adventure. And look, you do not need to be some kind of expert to enjoy these wines. You just need to be a little curious. Seriously, anybody can taste wine like a pro with these 4 simple steps. It's see, swirl, sniff, and sip. First, see the color. Tilt your glass against something white. Is it deep purple or pale yellow? Then swirl it gently to kind of wake up all the aromas. Now, sniff. Get your nose right in there. What do you smell? Berries? Citrus? And finally, the best part, sip. Just take a small sip and notice the flavors and how it feels. It's like a mini adventure right there in your glass.
So next time you're at the store, just remember, look for the grape name right on the label. Malbec, Sauvignon Blanc, Shiraz. You can't go wrong starting with one of the stars we just met. That's a guaranteed win. And please, don't be afraid to ask for help. The people who sell wine genuinely love talking about it. And don't forget, wine is always better with food. Those classic pairings, they're famous for a reason. They just work beautifully. You know, the world of wine can seem huge and intimidating, but the New World really offers this vibrant, accessible, and just plain delicious way in. From the mountains of Argentina to the coasts of New Zealand, your next favorite bottle is just out there, waiting to be discovered. So I guess the only question left is, which one are you going to try first?